everybody, how's it going? Abbie here. Thanks so much for taking the time to join me today. Really excited to be doing a comparison video. We're going to be looking at Jetboil Flash cooking system and the Alpkit Brukit cooking system. Both great pieces of kit, very similar, but there are a few key differences, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So with both of them kind of here side by side, obviously they're not set up, you can see visually they really are very similar. They're both compact personal cooking systems. They both boil water very quickly, say a couple of minutes. Then that water can be used for rehydrating meals, for making drinks, for washing, I don't know, do whatever you want to do with your water. They're both ideal for kind of lightweight adventure trips, so you're backpacking, you're rock climbing, horse riding, mountain biking, whatever, anything really. But there are a few key differences. So what we're going to do, we're going to run through each one individually, then we'll set them both up, we'll get them both in action, and we'll conclude in a way that will kind of help you make a decision as to which one is more suitable for you. So let's start off with the Jetboil Flash. This is it. This is what you get for your money. So when I say money, we are talking about £95 for this very item. It has been on the market for a good few years now. I've owned one for a couple of years, absolutely love it. This is a very popular, very successful piece of kit, but you are looking at a chunk of money. I mean, yes, occasionally it might be in a sale for 70, 80 quid, but it is a big chunk of your finances. So I guess you want to know, is it worth your money? So let's just run through some of the key features. The actual kind of cup itself, it has a 1 litre capacity, so it holds a litre of water. You can boil a litre at any one time. It's got this neoprene cozy with this neat little handle. That obviously just helps insulate it and speed up the boiling time. You've got this gel heat indicator that as your water warms up, this will turn orange. Quite nice. Not the best indicator as to whether or not your water is boiled, but hey, it's nice. The lid itself has got a nice little drinking lip there, and of course a steam hole in the middle. That's the lid. You've then got this neat Jetboil gas, completely suited for this piece of equipment. It fits nicely in there. This canisters are about £2.50, £3 each from Go Outdoors, I'd say. Nice bit of advertising there, very handy anyway. You've then got the actual ignition system. So this piece of kit, you've got the spark button on the side which you press. You've got the flick out handle to intensify or decrease the amount of flame or gas, whatever you want to call it. Then you've got this fold away tripod which stabilizes the whole system. I really like this, I think it's quite useful. Did I mention this whole system weighs about 400 grams, but I think that's without this stability tripod. Then on the bottom you would normally have a transparent plastic cup that just comes down slightly, it sits in place. I don't have mine because I trod on it and I'm yet to order one that actually fits, but that's quite handy because obviously you can use it as a cup in itself. I tend to have my porridge in it, but it's also a measuring cup. It's got some lines on there, very handy. That would normally come with your Jetboil. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pack all this away, and then we'll have a look at the Alpkit, and then we'll get them both set up and running, and we'll play around with them. So this is the Alpkit Brukit. Obviously considerably bigger, well not considerably, slightly bigger than the Jetboil Flash. However, here's the big difference. Price. This piece of kit you're looking at about £35, £38. Whew, that is well under half the price of the Jetboil Flash. Pretty much does exactly the same thing. But let's run through the features. Comes with this nice little net bag, which actually is quite heavy for a net bag. However, I think this is a nice feature, but I would never use it myself. You are most likely going to be using these cooking systems in the cold of the morning or the cold of the evening. This and this, tight, very tight fit. Which obviously is not ideal when you've got cold hands. So nice idea, but not the most practical thing in the world. Anyway, the actual brew kit itself, you've got a nice big old red lid, which I suppose doubles as a frisbee. Cool. It's got a drinking lip, but no steam spout. So I guess they kind of count the same thing. I do like the fact it's red. Obviously that goes with the whole kind of colour coding system thing. But I'm forever losing that grey one, especially in the dark. So the red here is quite cool. Then, sorry Alpkit, but I've put a Jetboil canister in there. Obviously I need some kind of fuel. Then you've got your ignition system, which is a tight fit again, in here. And that's because these handles on the side, which are a great addition, they fold away, they sit on the side there quite nicely. But they've got these pins, which obviously hold them in place. And they catch on the ignition system. And I can never, there we go, get it out. It's a bit of an art. again, with cold hands, not ideal. You have to kind of think about the situation you're going to be in. If you're in a desert, then okay, maybe that's fine, unless your tempers are raised, I don't know. Anyway, the ignition system, so it's slightly different from the Jetboil. Obviously it's bigger. You've got the ignition button here, and then you've got a knob or a little twisty handle thing here that controls the amount of gas that comes in and out. That doesn't flick under like the Jetboil. I'm forever forgetting to flick out the Jetboil one, and then I have to take apart the whole system. So that's quite cool, and it's big and chunky, so you can't really miss it. There's no cup on this system. There never should have been a cup. I haven't trodden on that. There just is no cup. But that's literally it. So let's get them both set up and get them both in action, and then we'll kind of conclude it and help you make a decision, I guess. So I'm gonna fill them up halfway. So that's half a litre each. So to actually boil the water, we need a heat source, and that's where your gas comes in handy. So on the Jetboil Flash, you've got this metal handle. You twist that until you hear that hiss. That's the gas coming out of your canister. Hit the ignition spark thingy, and you hear, there we go, so that is caught. You can see the flame there underneath the actual system. So that is going to start to boil the water. You can control the amount of gas or the intensity of the heat by turning up or turning the metal knob there. So we'll just turn that off. I'll just show you exactly the same on the Alpkit Brukit. Very similar. Do watch out on both of these systems when they're actually heating up or when they're warm. Try not to touch the metal because it's hot. The actual Alpkit Brukit here, this is kind of a windshield. So you see the Jetboil, the flame's exposed, whereas this has got a slightly different system where the flame itself is a little bit more sheltered. Anyway, let's light it up. So turn the knob till you hear that hiss. That's your gas coming out. Hit the ignition button, and there you go. Slightly louder, but that's it. It's going to start to boil the water, so let's get both of these going. Let's get some water boiling. So we're just about there now. You can see both of these systems have boiled their water. The steam is coming out. They're wobbling like crazy because that water is bubbling. There we go. Look at the steam. Look. All mystical. Let's turn them off. So there we go. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching water boil. So let's just really quickly conclude this video. So Jetboil Flash, £95, about 400 grams. Alpkit Brukit, £35, about 500 grams. You've got the nice attachable handles on the Alpkit Brukit. You normally have a cup on your Jetboil Flash, just don't tread on it. Otherwise, that's it really. Very, very similar pieces of kit. So what you need to do now is you need to look at what kind of price do you want to pay, what kind of adventures are you going to be doing, what sort of climate are you going to be doing. Actually, is a cooking system that boils water what you need, or are you going to be cooking from scratch? You know, A, are you going to be cooking on a fire? B, are you going to be having dehydrated meals? Because that's really what these are for, drinks and dehydrated meals. If you're going to be cooking those kind of reheat the squishy pack things that they kind of use on D&V, then actually these aren't that ideal. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but just look at what you're going to be eating, where you're going to be, how much money you have available, and go from there. But love to hear your comments, anything you want to say about this video, any future videos, anything about your trips and your experiences. Do comment below, give us a thumbs up, share this video. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you later.